Hello to all the beautiful people out there, and welcome back to another Modality Monday.
Modality Monday! I was about to say that.
Modality Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Say what you guys said.
Modality Mondays!
Modality Mondays! We're going to start off the way we do.
Boom, come on, cheers.
Monday.
Say hydrated, y'all.
I feel like we don't do that enough. So today's Modality Monday is going to be about the importance of mentoring, mentorship, and having a mentor. And I thought, what better way to start it off by bringing in my mentor who kind of got forced into it.
Yeah.
But
that's definitely true.
Having a mentor in your life is definitely something that's very, very important. I kind of look at it as having a cheat code for a game, and that game is life. It's important to have someone that has seen things that you have seen, that you haven't seen, have been through experiences maybe that you're going to go through, so they can share and prepare you for your journey. And I've been blessed enough, I've been lucky enough, and I'm honored to be able to have Dr. Lucas as my mentor, and I'm very appreciative for it. And I just want him to be able to share his story, his journey with having a mentor, with mentorship, and why it's important for him, so you guys can hear a different perspective.
Well, thank you for having me on, man. I'm really excited about your growth. I've known you now for a few years, and I've seen you go through this transition. And this transition is the whole reason why I started doing mentoring in the beginning. I think for me, I was always the person who was by myself. Whether I was in school, I was the only black kid, always the only black kid one way or the other, whether it was elementary, whether it was not high school, wasn't that way, but when I went to college, it was the same thing. And I always found myself alone. Like, I was looking around for other people that look like me, other people who can give me some sort of advice. And I was always the person who was there, the oldest. So I was like, dang, it would be nice if I had something, somebody who could, I could reach out to. And maybe a few years ago, I started praying for old trees. And what I call old trees is older men who've lived a couple, maybe some years older than me, and maybe they've seen some of this stuff already. They've seen, a couple of the diseases. They've seen a couple of the presidents. They've seen a couple of these things that have happened right now. So they're like not tripping out maybe the way somebody who's seeing it for the first time is. And as I started going through that whole process, I started learning a lot, and I was like, man, it would be great if I could share this with this person or that person. But a lot of it, I think my mentorship, because I have one son, I wanted to make sure that he had people that were here for him. So I started looking for other people maybe that I could talk to, so that maybe when he's ready, he could have somebody like you who he could look up to, and he could be like, oh man, Ben did this. I'm like, oh, you think Ben is cool? Oh yeah, Ben is cool, Daddy, And it's great. I'm a builder, so I like to see people grow. It doesn't matter what field you're in or whatever the case may be. I like to see you start out here and then grow to be something where I go, wow, I had a little piece in helping this guy. And whether it was with chiropractic or with my words, I think just having people that you can relate to, talk to about maybe issues that are dealing with you and your health, and your perspective becomes important. I can't say I was always like that, because I was quiet and kind of closed off, but
Did you have a mentor in your life that kind of came in and I know you said you were kind of the lone wolf growing up, but was there a point where someone came into your life to help you break out of that shell, or kind of show you how to handle people and handle yourself?
I always had my dad. My dad was always there, but I think there's like a phase where your dad's not cool.
That's a long phase.
Yeah, like you're doing it, but you're really not all that cool, So I think that obviously my dad has always been there, and I don't know. I think that I know what I did. When I was younger, I started choosing characteristics of people who I thought were great. So, for instance, I would choose Muhammad Ali. In the absence of maybe having a physical man that I could look at, I would look at what Muhammad Ali did. I'd be like, dang, he's great. You know, he's slick. He can do this. He can do that. And I would pick out a characteristic from Muhammad Ali, and I'd be like, dang, I love the way he's charismatic.
So you're a champion.
I'm a champion all day, all day. My other one would be maybe Michael Jordan. I love the way Michael Jordan finished the game. You know, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was somebody who was just. I think there's a level of intensity that and focus that equals greatness. And then when you get to that level, you say, "Oh, those people are great. Those people are great." And you won't say this or that, but you can see what they focused on for so long that has you mesmerized by what they're doing or what they're saying. And I like that level of greatness. So my whole life became, hey, can I help people get to that level, or can I sharpen my sword and get to a higher level myself?
Right.
And I think in the process of you staying in that area puts you in a vibration where you're getting a lot of what you want because you're putting out what you want and you're seeing it. Like, you know, a couple of years, man, you're a different guy. You know what I mean? I see you now, you're down. How much weight did you lose?
Lost about 80 pounds.
Lost about 80 pounds. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I look at your skin. I look at the way you greet people. I look at the way you interact with people. And to me, that's love. You know what I mean? Like, if you want love, you got to give love. You can't give hate and expect love.
Right.
So when I started just giving out love on a consistent basis, I start to see how it reflects and it comes back to me.
Right.
You know, I smile at you, smile back, like, oh, that's dope.
it's good to make other people feel good.
It feels amazing.
And with being able to help other people, one thing that you instilled in me, even though I didn't like hearing it in the beginning, by the way, the first, I think it was like 2 weeks of us knowing each other, we went on a trip to Brazil together.
Yeah.
And it was a roller coaster of emotions. And the one thing that stood out at the time, I got very angry and upset about it to the point where I was looking at this guy like, yo, who are you? But now I realize that this one simple statement is very important, and it benefited me at the end of the day, and it benefits other people. And that was shut up. Just shut up and listen. And when you shut up and listen to people, a lot of the times in today's society, or just as people, we're so quick to respond, or we're so quick to just spew all these things that we have in our brain. And when you just stop and listen to people, you can basically figure out if you want to help them, if you want to be friends with them, if you want to do business with them, or if you want to share love with them, and how,
or even if you can, because some people you can't help.
Right.
You know.
Right. And that has been a very big impact in my life, just listening to people. How has that benefited you with being able to work with other people, or deciding who you want to work with?
You know, in listening to people, that's, I think, is a skill in itself. You know what I mean? Because everybody's going to say something, and normally, like you said, it's almost like a response. You say something, I feel like I need to say something. You say something, I feel like I need to say something. And now it's kind of like, you know, let me listen to you, because I want to know what's on your mind. I want to know if what you said is what you believe. I don't want my influence on what you said. I want to know what's in your heart. I want to know what's in your mind, because I think that when you find that place with somebody, that's when you can start to build something. Without finding that place, maybe that person doesn't even know what they want. So I think that the relationships start with communication, and communication for the most part is just shut up and you gotta listen. Because you gotta know, because I think there was a time where I was just like, I didn't expect them to do that. I did not expect that. Wow, I did not expect that. Wow, I didn't listen to nothing. I didn't listen to not one thing they said. I had things that I wanted to do, and I would maybe force what I wanted, like, this is my agenda. And now I think that everybody has what I call a hidden agenda. All right? Everybody does. So I have a hidden agenda. Also, everybody, it doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but you have to realize that most people are motivated to do something. And once you're able to listen to figure out what that is, you're able to say, hey, I can help you with that. Or, you know what, man, there's another million people on the planet, you might want to go that way. Because I think my logic became, God uses me as a tool. So if he uses me as a tool, my job is to find other tools that I work well with. Maybe in the beginning of my life, I didn't work well with tools. I would pick the shiny, sharp tools. You know what I mean? They would be shiny. Ooh, that's good. That's hot though. Yeah. It looks this way. It appears to be this way. And I never listened to what that tool was saying. And then once I started to figure out what tools I worked with, maybe that's not the best tool for me.
Right.
But once I figured out what my little, thing was, what my niche was, then it was easy for me to figure out how I could enhance other people's lives, or maybe even how they can enhance mine, or even what that growth process looks like.
So you went from the shiny tool to the tools with substance.
Yeah. Because, in the end, and to me, I think that life is you figuring out the things that make you happy, genuinely, and you being able to put those things out in other people, and then those people picking up and then growing from that. So it's like building momentum. Like I could, in our relationship, I could tear you up, or I could build you down, or build you up or tear you down.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah. It has happened. It has happened. And maybe in the beginning of my life, because maybe I was insecure, maybe I was teased, I had complex about being black in a white school. I was always with this chip on my shoulder, so I was able to see your chip. So I was always feeling like I had to protect myself. I was like, oh, this guy's gonna say something, so say something first. This type of person is gonna disrespect you, so say it first. This person is gonna look at you like this, look at them first like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it was like, hey man, it doesn't matter what that person says. Who are you? And I was like, who is somebody else to change my mood? Like, how are you gonna walk in my house and get me mad?
Right.
You ain't gonna walk in my house and get me mad. You gonna walk out my house and I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
And you start realizing that you have choices in who you behave with, how you behave, who you talk to, how much time you spend with them, what you get from them, what you don't get from them. And all of those things should put you in a place to where you should be able to win in life. So
the company that you keep.
You are, the abundance that you keep are going to be relationships. And I'm a firm believer that you either have to pick your leaders or you have to build your leaders. And in order for your life to be great, the people around you have to have a great life. Because if you're like, oh my gosh, my chest hurts, my back hurts, I can't operate with you in pain all the time. I'll be like, check this out, homie. I got some water and I got these adjustments. Let's go. And then from there, now the vibration of you feeling better is going to be better. Now, instead of us talking about your pain, now we're talking about, hey, what are we going to build? What are we going to do? What are your goals? What are my goals? And the longer you're able to stay in that vibration of abundance, the more you're going to be able to create the things that you want. Because, for instance, this is maybe our second video today. But in order for that to happen, I had to say, hey, Ben, I need your help. And if I was bad to you, you'd be like, so? Right?
Figure it out on your own.
It's your problem. But
Right.
because of our relationship, I've been there for you, you've been there for me. You're like, hey, Doc, I'm taking off work. Hey, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, oh, that's dope. And I think that's what it's about, being there for people so they can be there for you. And I think in that you can grow in a different way. Because money happens when everybody is in agreement with that. I've tried to make money by myself, and it was myself, like the lone wolf. And after you do that enough, you get to a point where like, I don't want to do this no more by myself. I just don't. Now I look at life as like a basketball, like a pickup, 5-on-5 pickup team.
There's a phrase that he always says that it's really stuck with me, and I use it all the time with other people. And it's you can go out there and try to hunt the water buffalo by yourself, but you're most likely not going to be able to get it. So you need a tribe, and you need to be able to bring that tribe with you to hunt the buffalo. And it's way more satisfying when you do that, and then being able to eat with your tribe once you hunt the buffalo. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's perfect.
With the basketball team, but that one is one that has really affected me.
Yeah.
And then as far as creating health for other people, Doc is actually the main influence that I've become plant-based and vegan now, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And it's been about 1.5 years, 2 years. I lost a bunch of weight, yada yada yada. I feel really good, Can you share some of your journey with your plant-based vegan diet and kind of why you got into it?
My whole thing was all health issues. I called myself the hamburglar. That's who I was. I was eating hamburgers and french fries, rum and coke, and maybe a Pepsi, pizza. I would have it all. And I don't think I really looked at food affecting my health that way. So I hit, I don't know, I'm 47 now, so maybe at 40, 42, I want to say, I just hit a wall like this. Bow! And when I hit the wall, it was like that. Bow! It was like, man, this food is not affecting me the same way that it did. Like, I would pick this up, and then what ended up happening was I started getting like rashes all over my body. Like eczema, psoriasis. I couldn't tell you what it was at the time, but I didn't like it. And it was broken on my arms. It was enough to make you make a decision. I'll say that. Because when it happened, the first thing I said, well, what is this? And I knew I wasn't going to go to a medical doctor because I knew I wasn't going to get those creams. And the next thing was, okay, it has to be something that I'm eating. I couldn't figure out what it was. So I started doing my own research type of thing. And next thing you know, I started cutting things out of my diet to figure out what's causing the rash. So I cut out meat, I cut out beef first, and then it was chicken. And then I got down to fish, and I was like, I don't want to cut down fish. But I didn't like fish, so fish had to go. And then the next thing was, it was still there. I still had the problem after I cut the meat, so I was like, this is cold-blooded. Like, what am I supposed to eat? Right. So then after that, then I was like, you start hearing all this stuff about gluten. And I started cutting out the gluten, and then that did some of it, but really it was the wheat. And by the time I got down to all of those things, I had gone through a transformation in my body. And I didn't know what to eat, so maybe the first year I was just eating beans and rice.
I know about that. And in case you guys don't know, Brazil takes pride in making some really good meat dishes.
Yeah.
So we were eating rice and beans for a solid 3.5 weeks. It was the only meal we had. And man, I've never had such an appreciation for beans and rice.
It felt great though.
It did feel great.
I mean, I think in life you got to figure out what you eat for yourself. But as I was going through the whole process, my body was healing. So the rash was going away. I was feeling better. My body was functioning better, and that whole process for me wasn't anything but for me trying to stay alive. So I didn't see myself as a vegan. I didn't see myself as a guru. I didn't see myself as anything but just trying to stay alive. Right. And trying to figure out what was health and what was not. And that's essentially how it started with me. And now that I'm plant-based, I guess is probably the best way to call it. Well, vegan has other things associated with it, and I don't like being labeled anyway. I've already got enough label of black. So
that ain't changing anytime soon.
So I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat, wheat, and dairy. And those things, keep me shining.
For sure.
And those things to me aren't the best source of energy. Then obviously you're probably going to know about Dr. Sebi. And if you don't know about him, he's a great resource, or he was a great resource. A lot of still YouTube videos, but it's just on how to get your health back. That's how.
Right. So as you can see, Doc's had an incredible journey with being a mentor, mentoring people, and even teaching people about health and love and wealth. And those are the three most important things that you can talk to people about and inform people about, because those are everyday conversations. Those are what everyone is seeking. And I just want to thank you so much for your influence in my life. Thank you for what you do and who you are. You're a great spirit, incredible person. You could go on, and we could go on. We're definitely going to do another video to dive into some more things, but today was about mentorship, and I just appreciate you.
Hey, man, you know what? I appreciate you, man, because I look at it, and you're a leader. And what I look at is you being a leader, maybe you didn't have all the things necessary for you to be great. And then in life, you go through those processes, and then, I'm appreciative of your journey because it didn't have to be this easy. It didn't have to be this simple. It didn't have to be this consistent. And I appreciate the fact that you're sharing what you learn with other people, because I think that is what abundance is. That is sharing whatever you have, and I think that's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
man.
So all because of you.
Yeah,
man.
I'm a stop.
So today's Modality Monday was about the power of having a mentor and mentorship. And if you get to a place, where you're good in life and, you think that you have it figured out, why not get back to someone else and be a mentor yourself?
Yeah.
So hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank you for checking in, and peace and love. Many
Peace,
blessings.
love, blessings.